Everybody, it's Keefy and Ghost Cult Mag. Oh my god. Late Thursday, early Friday, everyone else in the world. Keefy here. Technical problems abound. I am not well. I am going live late, but I'm here. I made an effort, and that's what matters. Thanks all for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Shut up, TikTok. God damn it. Too loud and too stupid. But anyway, I'm here. End of the week here with another weekly ritual. Oh, my lights are not working. This is gonna be awesome. Off the rails, as we say on the Glacially Musical Podcast. Hello, love. My girlfriend is here. I am not at her house. That's what sucks right now. I am not felt we're both under the weather. I'm under the weather. I had an amazing time yesterday for my birthday. And then felt I was coming down with a bug. And here we are. So what are you gonna do? Not a whole lot you can do. Just do the thing. And hope for the best. What are you gonna do? But we're gonna do the show. We're gonna do the rock and metal news. What we do every week at this time of the world. If it's your first time here, feel free to like and subscribe. GhostCultMag.com is your 24/7, 365 source for rock and metal news. And managed to get through the week and do all the things. So just making sure that good old TikTok is also here. We are streaming live. The best experience for this is Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram, but also I like hanging out on TikTok with all of you. Eric Kaplan is here. Hi, Eric. We have a lot to get through and a lot to talk about. I feel just well enough to do the show. I took a huge nap today, and I'm highly medicated right now and hydrated. So yeah, this is going to be an unusual one, but nonetheless, I'm still here and I'm proud of me. Thanks for tuning in to everybody watching. Doomgoon is here. That's a cool name. If you have a cool screen name, I'm going to talk about it. This is probably my favorite picture of me in the last 6 or 7 months. Like, what is happening here? This is awesome. Keefy with his gears to grind. Here for the weekly show. So I'll bring in the deck. Unfortunately, everybody on TikTok cannot appreciate this, but that's okay. That's okay too. Let's see if I can get this thing to work at all. Probably not. Oh, well. It's just going to be what it's going to be, folks. Liam is here. Hey, Raquel Figlo is here. Congrats on your engagement, friend. Anywho, here, hey, Kurt's here. My everydayers, my real ones, my family, my chosen family. Curtis. And Melissa was just talking to Curtis. Let's kick off the show. EOTW is here. Let's kick off the show. So, let's see. As usual, we start with the announcements. And it has been yet another week in the world where it just keeps getting harder and harder. It just keeps getting harder. But we're gonna follow through. We're gonna stay consistent and do the damn thing. First and foremost, a pretty killer announcement. Ghost Cult is going to. Dillinger has arrived. What's up? Dillinger has arrived. Curtis is here. Everybody's greeting everybody. Ghost Cult has teamed up with Golden Voice, the biggest promoter of West Coast concerts, to give away 5 pairs of tickets to the Cult in Los Angeles right around Halloween, the last date of their tour. The Cult is doing a very rare tour this year with Death Cult. Jimmy B is also here. Death Cult is the pre-Cult post-punk new wave band that then morphed into the hard rock of the Cult that you all know, the strip club classics like Firewoman and other things. So we have teamed up with Golden Voice to give away tickets to the tour, to that show, to the LA show. 5 pairs of tickets are up for grabs. All you got to do is hit the link in our description. I will send the link in where people on TikTok can enter. Let me text the link to myself and then drop it into the description, which is fine. Sometimes you have to do these things. Drop a link to yourself. Hold on one second, everybody. But yeah, I hope people will, if you have an opportunity to enter to win. Anyone can win, which is rad. It is not for travel or lodging. It is just for the tickets to the show. But, if you're in the West Coast, if you feel like you want to make a trip to LA, there's a good chance you will win. We recently gave away tickets to any show for the Wardruna Chelsea Wolf Tour, which is almost over. 10 more days on that tour. I saw that tour here in Oakland. It was great. You 100% have a chance to win. It's kind of picked at random. So you just have to follow some very basic rules and you could win, which is rad. There it is. Comment. There you go. And I'm going to pin this. TikTok is hard. Pin this comment. Boom. All righty. So yeah, we're giving tickets away to that. Well, we got some people here. Dillinger. Props to Ian Asbury. Not so much Billy Duffy. If you know, you know. Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. Strip club classics. So true. It is. Firewoman. If you've ever been to a strip club, you've seen someone dance to Firewoman. It was my birthday this week. Look at these. Look at how adorable I was as a little kid. What happened to that innocent youth of a child that he became this bearded metal guy? But I'm pretty good. Stillborn One is here. What's up, Stillborn One? Look at that. Look at that cute guy with the superhero tights. Again, I said yesterday, if you caught it, I did a little live stream. We'll talk about it in a second. I'm trying to be as energetic as I can. I feel a little suppressed. Thank you, Dillinger. I appreciate you so much, man. People came out far and wide to celebrate me, and local hoodlum is passing by. It took a long time, and I'll talk about it in a second, for me to just enjoy my birthday for the sake of my birthday. It was difficult, but I joked on the live stream yesterday about that swing, man. So many kids were choked and strangled to death in that mechanical swing. It used to swing automatically. Like parents in the 60s and 70s didn't want to push their kids in a little swing in their house. But I remember just being, look at how happy I am in there. I probably never smiled that much in my whole life. But thank you, Curtis. I am adorable. You were an adorable kid, too. And again, I've learned how to separate this stuff out. My birthday is September 17th. Tomorrow, later tonight, marks the anniversary of my mom's passing, which has always been very hard for me. I spent most of therapy today. I know most people talk about their moms in therapy, but I normally have nothing but nice things to say. But my mom was exceptional. But yeah, it still hurts, but I've learned how to enjoy my birthday and then grieve my parents and grieve my mother. So it's okay. Moving along, also a really tough one this week, man. We lost a great one. Thomas Lindberg, Tompa of At the Gates and Dysphere and Lockup and Grotesque and a bunch of other incredible melodic death metal bands and grindcore bands. I knew him personally. I met him and hung out with him at Roadburn. He was very fond of Ghost Cult. He was very fond of my partner, Omar Cordy. Used to just list him for shows. If you want to come out, come out. I hung out with him in Europe, as I said, at Roadburn. And he was sick with cancer the last few years. We didn't quite know how bad. I was hearing rumblings that he wasn't recovering. And we got the news about a month ago that he felt like maybe he was going to be incapacitated soon by this illness, so he pushed himself to finish the final At the Gates album with Thomas recently, so before he was incapacitated too much vocally. So that's really cool. And this photo is by Omar Cordy, the last time he photographed Thomas. I interviewed Thomas for The Nightmare of Being, their last album so far with him. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate you. My mom was the best, and she was quite fond of you. She loved you very much. But yeah, just brutal. It's been a brutal summer for metal people. Ozzy, Brent Hines, and now Thomas. And other people have passed away, and we'll talk about that too. But what a hard one, man. What a hard one. Also, Robert Redford, just an iconic actor and director and Hollywood personality. This picture is from Captain America, The Winter Soldier, where Robert Redford at like 80 something played Alexander Pierce, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. on top of the boss of Nick Fury. And I love the Sam Jack remembrance on social media about Robert. He's like, very few times in his experience does people live up to Caustic. What's up? Good to see you. Very few times do people live up to the legend, and he felt like Robert was a professional, and he was really approachable and humble and nice and respectful, and like about the best co-star you could ever ask for. So super cool for Sam Jack to shout out Redford. I mean, so many iconic roles, so many amazing films as a director. So very sad to lose. We're losing a lot of our greats, but this is a tough one too. Bobby Hart, maybe you didn't know who he was. He was the musical architect of the Monkees. He wrote most of their big hits, like Believer, and he passed away. Was announced this week. I think he passed away in the last few weeks. Tree of Hell is here. Local Hoodlum, Tiffany Aguiar. Appreciate you all for tuning in. And also, Carol Weiland, Scott Weiland's mom, finally succumbed to cancer that she has been fighting for a long time. You can't imagine anything worse than a parent burying a child. And so she had to survive the death of both of her sons, which is very sad, Michael and Scott. And, just rest in peace to her, because she was a big believer in him. Celebrating on some other positive things, celebrating birthdays this week, Dave Mustaine and Megadeth. This is like the most Dave Mustaine, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, this is like one of the most Dave Mustaine photos Dave Mustaine ever Dave Mustaine. Like that snarl and the riffing and the hands and the, whatever you want to say about Dave. He's a complicated guy, but he's incredibly talented. Also celebrating a birthday this week, Joe Perry of Aerosmith, here pictured in the 70s, is 79, I think, or 77. Tommy Shaw of Styx celebrated a birthday this week. Questlove was remembering Amy Winehouse in a chance encounter meeting her back in the day before she was famous. And this is a photo he shared of them. I do not own this photo, but Amy Winehouse, who died at 27, would have been 42 on Monday. It's just wild to think that she is now gone a very long time. Of course, the professor, Neil Peart of Rush, would have celebrated a birthday this week. His anniversary of his passing is January. Huge Rush fan. I was telling Curtis earlier, my first big arena rock concert was Rush in Kansas in 1985 at the Madison Square Garden in New York City. Celebrating a birthday this week also is Bill Stevenson. You know him best from Descendants. He's also the drummer and founder of All. He's also produced every pop punk and post-hardcore band as a producer. He is one of the best producers in the world. I'd love to chat with him sometime. There's a great Descendants and All documentary that's free on Tubi if you're interested. Killer band. Also celebrating a birthday this week is Larry Lalonde of Primus, same day as me. Power Windows tour, that's right, bro. I saw Power Windows, Presto, and Roll the Bones all in a row, 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, 3 out of 4 years. Incredible. Really shaped me. This is a recent picture of we covered Primus here at the hometown show they did in Sacramento. That's by my homeboy Pags. Great photo by Pags. Also celebrating a birthday, Tim Ripper Owens, same day as me, actually, September 17th. Guy's incredible. Here he is with KK's Priest. Tim is incredible. He has been a very good friend to Ghost Cult. We interviewed him a few times. Great guy. Also celebrating a birthday this week. This is like looking at this picture of Jane's Addiction for their like aborted tour that happened last year. This is like looking at your picture of your family after a divorce when your parents aren't together anymore. But Stephen Perkins on the left-hand side of the photo, the drummer of Jane's Addiction, also drummed on Nine Inch Nails albums and a bunch of other things. Adrian Belew, he had a birthday this week. Also celebrating the birthday the same day as me, Lita Ford. Lita Ford, Kiss Me Once. Got some Aussie news coming up later, too. Speaking of Lita, Doyle, Wolfgang von Frankenstein of Misfits and Doyle celebrated a birthday this week. This is a great photo by Kim Hansen, photography of Ghost Cult. Also on the far left here, Skid Row with their former singer Eric Gronwall. Snake Sabo celebrated a birthday this week. Ty Tabor of King's X celebrates a birthday this week. I think he's 60-something, 62. Listening to the Crime Cast. Oh, man. Just mind-blowing. So sad. So fucking sad. Dillinger Compound. But yeah, Ty Tabor, another fucking, just a fucking beast of a writer and a producer. Incredible. And I love King's X. Keith Morris of Circle Jerks is 64. Pictured here with Xander, the bassist and sometime guitarist. Yeah, Ty, bro, he's incredible. Keith Morris, I would love to interview Keith Morris. He's on the bucket list. Also, Bauer Power, Jimmy Bauer on the left and I Hate God on guitar, and on the right and down. Do not smoke weed with Jimmy Bauer. Let me give you that advice. Here's some advice I can give you in my 53 years of life. Guy is wonderful, a sweetheart, a family man, an incredible musician and great guy. Don't smoke his weed. You will be sorry. You will be so sorry. Paolo Gregoletto of Trivium, who we recently covered, had a birthday this week. And me, the boss, this guy with two thumbs. This picture is maybe my favorite picture of me, taken by Omar Cordy at St. Vitus Bar, which is no longer in existence, but I do love this photo. My vest is like not new, but a little more barren than it is now in this picture, which is always amusing to me. The Hours is here. What's up? What's up? Thanks for being here. Let's see. This is a great picture. A lot of people paid tribute to me, called me, texted me, social media me, everything. Ghost Cult Picture posted a post about me. And my dear friend Francis Solis, dude, St. Vitus being gone sucks so bad. I'm glad when I went to my last trip to New York 2 years ago, I went. I'm so relieved and glad that I went. But look at this photo Francis found me. Now I think this is Don Hills or maybe a club in New Jersey. But look at me in probably 1998 or 1999 with my Jesse Armstead Giants jersey and my do-rag and my bass and my army pants and my high tops. Such a thrash kid in my late 20s. But this is a great photo. I don't think I have seen this in a long time. Keith Wood, Jeff Keefy, Jeff Wood. Nice. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at all. But yeah, look at my hair. My hair was glorious. Yeah, Franny's the best. She shared that picture of also of you, me, and her at Metallica Curtis in that same like collage. It was really sweet of her. Okay, we moved through all the birthdays and the passings and the memorials. Let's talk about some metal history, metal and rock history. Released this week in rock and metal history on my birthday in 1991. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I don't know why they're backwards, but I don't know. I rushed to do this. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. What's your thoughts on these records? Most people like one or the other and not both. Probably would have been one great album alone. I like both. I love a lot of songs on both of them. There are definitely some clunkers, but I do love these records. Also released on September 17th, 1991, on the same day as Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. Got some No More Tears news coming up in just a few minutes. Other albums celebrating anniversaries this week. Metallica's Death Magnetic. Definitely a comeback record for them after St. Anger. Megadeth's Endgame. Solid. Painkiller by Judas Priest. Maybe their last great record. They certainly have some very good ones since Rob has left and come back to the band. But Painkiller was like the last of their great first era. Anthrax Worship Music came out on September 12th, 2011. It was also the anniversary of the Big Four at Yankee Stadium, Curtis, that you and I went to. Black Sabbath's Paranoid came out 50-something years, almost 60 years ago, 50-something years ago today. Heathen, Empire of the Blind. I love this. Was their comeback record. I love Heathen. I've interviewed Dave White many times on the channel, as you know. Bay Area hard rock and thrash. Coroner, No More Color. Very underrated, great band. Coroner is incredible. Judas Priest, another one. Unleashed in the East. One of the best live albums ever. Look at Rob. He's just gorgeous. Disturbed, Believe. This is their second record and actually is really solid. Surprisingly solid. And the last time I really enjoyed a full record from them. But that's just me. It's a very solid record. Shadows Fall, The Art of Balance. Incredible. Great new wave of American metal in the early 2000s. 2 Carcass releases this week in history. Of course, the Surgical Steel, the incredible album of the year for 2014 for Ghost Cult, and then this sort of odds and ends extra record that was torn apart or whatever it's called, with like fruit fashioned into arteries. Kind of funny. Brujeria with this incredible record, Pocho Anclan, very good record. Rest in power to Pinche Peach and Juan Brujo. I miss those guys. All the Remains Overcome, not that great a record, to be honest with you. Wolfheart, this is a tremendous album here in the Great North. Cannibal Corpse, a skeletal domain, kind of underrated, very solid from about 10, 11 years ago. Black Dahlia Murder, Deflorate, great record. Marilyn Manson, Mechanical Animals, maybe the second best album he's ever had, or third best album. Fight, War of Words, speaking of Rob Halford, his sort of Pantera-ish band, side band. Made in Japan by Iron Maiden, the great live album. Megadeth, The System Has Failed, also had an album anniversary. I think Mustaine likes to put out records like around the time of his birthday. Set Alive is here. Alex is here. Bad Habits is here. Rufina is here. Deathly Hours, once again. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. Convulse, this is a fucking crushing fucking album. Flotsam and Jetsam, very solid stuff last year with them. Blizzard of Oz, of course, with Ozzy. A lot of Ozzy news going on. Aerosmith Pump, I remember being so excited for this record. This record is excellent, top to bottom. Maybe a little overproduced looking back on it, but excellent record. Great songs, great guitar stuff. Absolutely killer. Black Sabbath, Born Again, my favorite non-Ozzy or Dio record. I love Tony Martin also. Mastodon, Blood Mountain, the classic, amazing. Dream Theater, a dramatic turn of events. It's okay. It's not my favorite Dream Theater record. They have some better ones than this. And Black Label Society, Shot to Hell, very solid. Spectacular to me. Mrs. Dahlia is here. Hello. Oh, man, I love Born Again. I'm hoping that's the next thing Iommi is working on is a Born Again remaster and box set. And Ian and Dylan is still out there singing with Deep Purple, man. Like, he surely could do the Born Again stuff if he could do a Deep Purple show. Let's go, Tony. Let's go. I don't think he's, like, Tony's necessarily looking to redo Black Sabbath or play live much ever again. But, like, all good. Hey, just a reminder, we are not corporate backed. So, you know, I do these things and I don't often solicit money, but I do ask for tips. So if you're feeling tipsy, feel free to be generous and donate some money to us. I did get some birthday money in which I bought some new records, and I checked those a little bit on the live stream yesterday. Yeah, Curtis and I know. I'm pretty sure that I heard Born Again for the first time ever with you, Curtis. I definitely think I learned about that album because of you, partially. And we love Ian. We love Deep Purple and we love Ian Gillan. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate you. But yeah, if you're feeling tipsy, here's the tip menu. And I will also drop it in the I'll drop it here as well. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. But yeah, I'm really proud of us. We're almost at 13 years. We're about 3 weeks away from our 13th year in existence. And I'm very proud of everything we've done. We've been doing some killer collabs, including this Golden Voice thing. This is probably one of the coolest things we've ever been a part of, this giveaway. And I'm just really humbled. They reached out to us. I'm not out here necessarily, begging companies to partner with us. We do solicit some partnerships and some advertising. Just Yee says he just saw. Thank you for watching, Yee. Just saw Lamb of God, Marilyn Manson, and Lorna Shore. Oh, were you at Louder Than Life? Are you at Louder Than Life today? Is that was that a headline tour? I know Slayer played tonight at Louder Than Life, so that's really fucking exciting. And I like the new Manson album. I know, very controversial, but I rather enjoyed the Manson album. And apparently that's one of two. So there's a part 2 coming. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in. We've got some more people watching now on Twitch and YouTube. And there's our QR code. Notice no one in Maiden has offered condolences to the Osbournes. Yeah, of course. You want to know what's interesting is that Bruce Dickinson actually produced the No More Tears reissue 20 years ago. That's about Sharon. I'm sure there down the road there's a respect. Listen, Maiden has called out Metallica and Ozzy and everybody. They made it be a them versus us kind of thing their whole career. So I'm not mad at it. I understand why the beef with Sharon is real. Curtis was asking me about the Roger Waters thing, and like I said, Ozzy passed away, and everybody asked everybody. I did a couple of band interviews this week, and I asked, like, "Hey, did you know Tomas? Did you know At the Gates?" So I did that. That's something it's a common music journalism thing, right, Dillinger? And Roger Waters was asked how he felt about Ozzy, and he was like, "I never liked Black Sabbath, and Ozzy was a dumb twat," or whatever he said. And Jack assassinated Roger in the press about it, and rightly so. Everybody was saying kind and nice things, and Roger decided to be the one jackass to say something mean and shitty about Ozzy. My mom used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything. So yeah, I'm a little mildly surprised that Maiden didn't say anything. But anyway, that's all the preamble. And now on to the rest of the show, and it's time to talk about the features. So features this week, we dropped a brand new single by this incredible psychedelic stoner doom band called Mother Crone, and their new single, Embrace the Death, which you can now stream everywhere. And their album is coming out in 2026, and it's really fantastic. This band has been around for quite a while, but they haven't been very prolific in terms of a lot of albums, but super cool. And interestingly enough, we did the premiere with the publicity term Viral Propaganda PR. The owner of Viral Propaganda PR was the original co-owner of Ghost Cult before I came in, with the original other co-owner, Raymond Westland of the Netherlands. So David and Raymond were friends in Europe, and they came together to form Ghost Cult. And then I came in, and I ended up taking it over from David and Raymond, which is super interesting. It's a very interesting story. There's some podcasts where I've talked about the whole history of Ghost Cult. Roger has not responded at all. Yeah, he's not bothered. He doesn't care. He does not care. He doesn't care about anything. He's Roger. Re-recording your classic albums in hopes that your own fans will only support you and buy your album when that album in question and your albums you made with Pink Floyd are the greatest albums of all time, arguably. You are a fucking cunt, and I really fucking am disappointed by him, because Pink Floyd is my favorite band ever. Interviews this week. I talked to Tyler Sturgill. He is the vocalist and guitarist of the progressive brutal death metal band Xoth. They have kicked off their tour, supporting their EP from last year, the Exogalactic Tour. I had a killer conversation with him. Super nice guy, fun band. Definitely go see them if they're coming your way. I also chatted with Street Sects, who have a side band called Street Sects. Trying to say that 5 times fast. Street Sects, Street Sects, Street Sects. But they have 2 bands and 2 brand new albums out. They signed to Health's new album label, Compulsion Records. So they have kind of like an industrial hard, abrasive industrial metal record, and then they have kind of like a synth pop record, a synth wave, synth pop record. Really fun, really smart guys. We talked about 9 Inch Nails. We talked about really great stuff. And check that interview out also on our podcast. Just a reminder, Sinsaenum, I can never say this name right. Sinsaenum, I talked to Fredric LeClerc. He used to be in Dragon Force. Sinsaenum, god damn it. It was the former band of Joey Jordison of Slipknot and Murder Dolls. They have a brand new album out. It's probably one of the best death metal albums out this year. What a killer record that is. Also, coming tomorrow on our podcast, I have a new interview with Dallas Toller-Wade. You remember that he used to be in Nile. He now has the band Narcotic Wasteland. Surprisingly about not narcotics, about his sobriety and death metal. And he is on tour right now, which we'll talk about again in a minute, where he's playing all of Annihilation of the Wicked by Nile, which he's never done. Music from his other band, his former band. So really cool. And we had a great interview about this. So there's a podcast version that's going to go up tomorrow. And then hopefully down the road in a month or so, there'll be the video version. But go see Narcotic Wasteland right now. If you love technical death metal, and Nile especially, who are not touring right now, go see Narcotic Wasteland. And I love Nile also. The Street Sects and the Black Queen. Dude, I need the Black Queen so bad. So bad. I need a new Black Queen record. Let's go, Greg. I know Better Lovers is about to go on tour. We're going to talk about it. And their new record is coming. But please. Also, Don DeLamont of Ghost Cult and Talking to Talk with Don and Southeast of Heaven interviewed Marissa Nadler, who I also love. Her new album, New Radiations, now. And you can check that out on our podcast. And because I don't have enough going on, I didn't do any extra live streams this week beside my birthday one, and I didn't do any last week. But I did Sunday. I did reviews. I came right from the movies, and I saw Spinal Tap 2, and I really enjoyed it. I know people are kind of shitting on it. There's no way you can top the original. You can't top the original. But I did really enjoy and love Spinal Tap 2, and I'm really proud of them for making it. I'll put the fan on here a little. I'm sweaty. Also, because I don't have enough to do, I'm the co-host of the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing, Vinyl, sometimes NHL, mirth, laughter, joy. We are finishing our series on Ozzy Osbourne, and this week we did No More Tears. There it is again. We talked all about No More Tears and the production of that album and the making of that album. Bob Daisley in, Bob Daisley out. Bob Daisley in, Bob Daisley out. Bob Daisley only making lyrics, Bob Daisley just playing bass. Bob Daisley lyrics and bass, Bob Daisley not so much. So, and then Mike Inez coming in. So, wild. Great record and a great conversation. That is all part 1 of the show. And now for the news rundown. And as you know, I think I'm going to hydrate a little bit with this Gatorade Zero. Thank you, honey, for sending me some groceries and medicine. Hydrate, bitch. You got to hydrate yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Unless that's a kink you have. I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum or kink shame anyone. But as usual, when we do the news rundown, we talk about metal festivals. It is metal festivals. The season is wrapping up here in North America. It's basically over in Europe. Riot Fest is this weekend. We were going to be covering Riot Fest for the 7th year in a row, but we are not going to be covering it because of illness in the team, their families, and themselves. But that being said, we are super stoked. Blink-182, Weezer, Green Day, Jack White, Sex Pistols with Frank Carter are also not in there. Chris Penny is also a live member of the Black Queen. That is correct. He was with them when I saw them. Weird Al, Alkaline Trio, Beach Boys with John Stamos, Dropkick Murphys, Front Bottoms, Hold Steady, Rico Nasty, but also Bad Religion, Jawbreaker, so many killer bands. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm sad that I haven't been back. I went the one time. It was amazing. I had never been treated so well and respectfully as a journalist ever in my life as I was when I went to Riot Fest. So thank you, Riot Fest. Also, this weekend, Shaky Knees Fest. We are covering Shaky Knees Fest, which I am excited about. We got a pinch hitter at the last minute to step in and cover that one. Deftones, Lenny Kravitz, Sublime, Mike Hem, Cage the Elephant, Black Keys, Public Enemy, All American Rejects, Mannequin Pussy, Beaches, who are incredible new album by them, Blink 182, Vampire Weekend, Alabama Shakes, Lucy Dacus, Devo, Wet Leg, Four Non Blondes, who I don't like, Franz Ferdinand, Bill Murray, and more. So very cool shit. D Spitz is on there. That's cool. Louder Than Life is also this weekend. Slayer played tonight with Rob Zombie and more. And the rest of this weekend, Dillinger Escape Plan plays Sunday, Dillinger Compound, Avenged Sevenfold, Deftones, Bring Me the Horizon, Suicide Boys, Bad Omens, Sleep Token, All Time Low, Trivium. Looks rad. Beach Boys with John Stamos. Yeah, John Stamos has showed up and played on drums with them. They've been touring for a long time. They had been touring with Brian. Brian had stepped away from the road. He wasn't doing too well. He was sort of doing solo shows and also doing Beach Boys stuff on occasion. They had patched things up after the Beach Boys documentary, which I highly recommend. It was brutal, but you should definitely see it. And yeah, man, Stamos. There's a fun, I didn't really go into detail about this, but so John Stamos has had like a rivalry with Riot Fest where they give out stickers of him and goof on him. And then he would say I am not attending Riot Fest. And then they started having look-alike contests, show up with the John Stamos hair, like Uncle Jesse. Cut it out. That's the other one. But they, Jesse and the Rippers, right? And they, one of the best television bands ever. But Stamos is actually very talented. There was a drumeo of him recently listening to metal and playing a metal song on the drums. They have a butter statue, at state fairs where they have a butter-shaped cow or something, or pig. They have a butter statue of John Stamos. Yeah, Public Enemy, bro. Yeah, Public Enemy. And their new record's fire. They surprise dropped the new record. I haven't really got to spend a lot of time with it. Also this weekend, a little bit condensed to one day, but still pretty rad. New England Metal and Hardcore Festival. Some of my best memories ever were living in Boston and going out to the Worcester Palladium to cover this. It was wicked. Pissa, as they say. And Lorna Shore headlining New England Metal and Hardcore Fest. Wow. Over Cannibal Corpse, over Kubla Khan, over Black Dahlia Murder, over Bury Your Dead, who are probably their final show ever, but we've heard that a lot before. And then Drain, who has a new song out this week, Municipal Waste, Madball, Set It Off, Son. I think Full of Hell is not on this anymore because of the issues in the family there. But yeah, not quite a festival, but I lumped it in with the festivals. This week, this Saturday in Pennsylvania, Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, Slayer, Not Loose, Suicidal Tendencies, Power Trip, the Cavaleras doing Chaos AD in its entirety, Exodus doing all of Bonded by Blood, and more. And this feels like a festival. It feels like Slayer. If Slayer would have called this the Born of Fire Festival, people would have been like, fuck yes. But you don't want to say Fire Festival anything because it just kind of looks bad. Also, I just want to remind everybody again that the news was broken last week by me, by Ghost Cult, that System of a Down had been teasing Sick New World to return in 2026. And of course, all the other metal sites saw my post and copied my shit word for word and then shared my thing and did not credit me. Yes, I'm salty because I always give respect and credit to where I saw something first. This is not something that somebody reported and I copied it. I found this out and shared the news. So pretty annoying. But anyway, when Sick New World comes back next year, remember you heard it at Ghost Cult first. And we will go, hopefully, to cover it. And here's some more graphics and visuals that I found on Reddit. CBGB's festival is next weekend. Let's see if they can revive the brand. I'm still waiting for a CBGB official museum. Has not happened yet. Iggy Pop and Jack White headlining. Sex Pistols now off. Angel Dust, Cro-Mags, The Damned, Destroy Boys, Gorilla Biscuits, my favorite hardcore band ever. The Linda Lindas, the Lunachicks, who I remember seeing White Zombie, noise rock White Zombie, open up for the Lunachicks, and they were horrible, and I couldn't wait for them to get off. I was like, get the fuck off the stage. These dirty hippies look terrible. And they were, they became the metal White Zombie later. Lambrini Girls, Marky Ramone, Scowl, Teen Warriors, Murphy's Law, Melvin, Soul Glow, and a bunch of other bands. Yeah, Madball, still good. Phil House kicked ass. It did kick ass. Levitation Festival is next weekend. We were invited to go cover it, but it's not like I can just drop everything and go to Austin, but it looks rad. It looks rad. Aftershock is in a few weeks. We'll see. I might go. Also, Punk in the Park is that weekend. I think I've been talking about that a lot lately. Blink-182, Good Charlotte, Deftones, Perfect Circle, Korn, Bad Omens, Bring Me the Horizon, Rob Zombie. Interesting of note that a Perfect Circle is the co-headliner with Deftones on that Saturday. Pretty rad. Also, Turnstile, Dillinger Escape Plan, Bad Religion, Bruce Dickinson, 3 Days Grace, All American Rejects, Acid Bath, Dillinger Escape Plan, Hatebreed, SOD with Jamie Josta. Pretty rad. Pretty fucking rad. Forbidden, Death Angels playing that day. Fortress Festival has announced their full lineup. Old Man's Child, which just made their return this year. That's Silenos, formerly of Dimmu Borgir. Heinsgard, Ackercock. I mean, this is fucking sick, this Fortress Festival. They always do a good job. Finally, a t-shirt that fits my personality. Rage Against the Machine Learning. I need this shirt. I need to find this shirt or make it for myself. I'm going to work on that. Life is short. Wear cool t-shirts and make your own. All right. Concerts. That was all the festivals. Now for the big rundown of concert tours. And again, the Cult kicking off their tour with Death Cult very soon. Super stoked for this. These shows are very rare. I don't know that they will do these ever again. They have been doing once in a while shows with Death Cult and the Cult. And I think it's very unique and special that they're doing this. Super cool. Super cool. Also, last week we told you the news. There's still no photo or graphics or dates, but Twisted Sister is reuniting. And the one thing that I wasn't 100% sure about this last week, Marco Mendoza was not invited back due to irreconcilable differences. Now, if you can get 3/4 or 3/5 of a original band to come out and be together, obviously one member of Twisted Sister is passed. But to get Marco left out feels bad. But oh well. Twisted Sister very hype about this. Dillinger Escape Plan final show ever. First week of October. Has this been announced, or is this just some secret knowledge you have? I think I would have heard about this already. Did they say that they're not doing anymore, or yikes? Do tell, Dillinger. You always drop little nuggets in the show, and then you just make me very curious. I probably should start texting you. I feel like you have a hotline to knowledge that I do not have. Wardruna is on tour. Tour is more than half over. Incredible. Please go see Wardruna and Chelsea Wolfe. An incredible show. Also, Parkway Drive is kicking off their new headline tour, their 20th anniversary tour of the UK and Europe this weekend with Thy Art is Murder and the Amity Affliction. I am hopeful we're going to go cover that in England. 9 Inch Nails, Peel It Back tour is going for a few more weeks. And then Trent says he's probably going to take a break from touring for a minute and maybe come back next year with some more festivals and dates. Future Ruins Festival is coming up in early November. You have a very good unofficial knowledge. I think you have very good knowledge, my friend. Narcotic Wasteland. Here's the tour dates again. So this week, Tipsy Tiki in Fort Pierce, Florida. Tomorrow at the Brass Mug in Tampa. And then about another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dates. So you have a lot of chances. Blood Metal Cereal is back. Justin K. Vaughn is here. Thanks for being here, fam. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching. It means a lot. Narcotic Wasteland. Spirit Box is kicking off their tour with Periphery and Honey Revenge. This is the Tsunami Sea headline tour, already selling out. I got an email with like a low ticket warnings that these shows are selling out. I am hopeful we can cover either the San Bernardino or San Diego show. I am waiting to apply. I saw Baroness last night for my birthday. I was already starting to not feel great, but I pushed myself to go to the show. It's probably not why I feel worse today. I don't know that I would have felt much better today anyway. The show was incredible. Weed Eater came out to the Thank You for Being a Friend, the Golden Girls theme song, and then they just bludgeoned us for almost a fucking hour at max volume. Almost an unenjoyable loud. You know what I'm saying? Like so loud you can't think. With my earbuds in and in the balcony, so maybe like 100, 200 feet away from the stage. It was still loud, like in my ears. Crazy. And then Baroness, of course, was much kinder to us, and they played all of Red and all of Blue back to back, and they were just wonderful. Absolutely spine-tingling the whole way. Judas Priest and Alice Cooper with Corrosion Conformity already kicked off their tour. They are playing tonight in Alpharetta, Georgia, and then Charlotte on Saturday. It looks like they're playing every day or two with a few days off in there for the old guys. Definitely worth seeing. Personally, if you've never seen Priest or Cooper, I would want to see a not co-headline tour because they have so many great songs. But COC will be fun as an opener with just like the hits I'm sure that they have time for. They just finished a new record. It's in mixing now, so hopefully we'll get that next year. Mudvayne has already kicked off the LD 50 25th anniversary tour. I hope to see them in a few weeks. As we mentioned, Greg Tribbett is off the road because of the death of his wife, which is extremely sad, and they got a fill-in guitar player. Ancients, I heard awesome shit about this tour. We've been talking about Ancients as one of the more underrated bands, kind of like a Mastodon or Baroness Light. Armed for the Apocalypse and other bands, they played here in the Bay Area and in LA last weekend, and I heard Ancients was fire. So I definitely would love to go see them. Dark Angel is on tour supporting Extinction Level event. Stay tuned for my new interview with Gene Hoglan, the 4th or 5th interview with Gene we have done in a couple of years, but he was really great as always. Agnostic Front's got a whole bunch of touring kicking off, in addition to a whole new album coming soon. Raw Brigade and Violent Way. Digging the 2 advanced AFI signals. I'm not sure I'm digging the porn stash from AFI. They like suddenly got into a time machine and they got Mastodon's haircuts from 2010. But loving the post-punk synthwave AFI. AFI's killer. They're really matured into an incredible band. Better Lovers, here you go for you Dillinger Escape Plan fans of Greg. Kicking off soon with 68 and Greyhaven, 2 absolutely beast mode bands live. I love Greg Puciato or Puciato, whichever you want to say. I've heard him say it different ways. Greg is awesome. He's great. We need the Black Queen. We need Better Lovers. We need more things. The Who is wrapping up their farewell tour. Hopefully they don't have to cancel any more dates. They have rescheduled the dates they missed earlier. Xoth, here's the Exogalactic Actuality Tour 2025. Kicked off in Fargo on my birthday. Is in Minneapolis tonight. Wisconsin tomorrow. Running through the 5th of October in Denver at the High Dive. Again, killer band. Counterparts, one of the more accelerating, successful bands in metalcore and hardcore crossover type of stuff, is coming on tour with Throne and Split Chain and a few other bands. They put out a killer EP. This looks cool. I don't think this is an entire tour, but All Them Witches and King Buffalo have a House of Mirrors tour date coming up at the 930 Club in DC. I'm not sure it's the whole tour, but wow. If that tour came here, I would drop everything to go. I love both those bands. All Them Witches kind of psychedelic stoner rock, and King Buffalo straight up stoner rock. And really cool. Yes, one of the bands from my childhood is doing the entire Fragile album live on tour. They have announced dates for 2026. They just finished doing some touring. these guys are getting rather old in their age. Steve Howe is 80. Geoff Downes is like 77 or 78. And the rest of the band is kind of the different eras of the band. But I'm hoping against hope. One of my bucket list things is to interview Yes. And obviously Chris Squire, my bass hero, has passed away a long time. So if I get a chance to talk to anyone in the band, I will be stoked. But I would love to talk to Steve or Jeff and talk about the band. So also Asia, a patch on my battle mist. Once again, we're more than halfway through the show. Again, if you want to bless us with some tips, I'm gratefully appreciative. You know, I could always use t-shirt and vinyl money donated. I'm not against it. Right now, I need to get back into bed. Getting stiffly. Officially the 19th on the East Coast there. All right. Rolling on. Also, Fable Beard Company, if you want to look at me. Look at this look at this just incredible beard I have. Look at this. Look at this guy. This is just gorgeous, right? If you want to rock like me, have a great beard, you want to get hooked up and smell good and feel good, you want to use the Fable Beard Company. Our link in the description, just like our link to go win those cult tickets, Death Cult tickets, got a link in the description where you get $10 off your first purchase from Fable Beard. And we get free stuff from them. I use their deodorant. I use their cologne spray. I use their beard wash, their co-wash. They have beard oils, beard balms, lotions, everything. All natural, no chemicals. Now, I will not lie to you because I keep it real. They will punish you with advertising. You will get emails and texts from them out the ass, which is a little much. And I'm in marketing. I'm a professional social media and digital marketing strategist. So I will tell you it's a lot. But they give away a box of $500 worth of stuff every month. All their stuff is dope. They have a money-back guarantee return policy. I really love them. And I appreciate once again, shout out to my wonderful, amazing, incredible girlfriend, Melissa, for turning me on to that stuff and buying me that stuff in the first place. Also, as you know, we are part of the growing Lambgoat Media Network. When you see advertising at ghostcultmag.com, that is from Lambgoat. Last year, we gave away VIP tickets to Slayer and Riot Fest and all these things. That was with Lambgoat. You know, we're happy to be partners with them. So, Lambgoat, the meaner version of Ghost Cult, as I'm fond of saying. Also, if you're watching this, unfortunately, everywhere but TikTok, you are watching this through the magic of StreamYard, coming right into your home from my studio bedroom in San Francisco. If you want to stream like we do, sign up with the link in the description. You get $10 off your subscription. We get $10 off our next ad. So it's kind of Dutch door action. One of those. 2 dicks through the glory hole into your face. All right, we're on all the social things. Somebody is watching on Twitch. Thank you for being here. Follow us. We'll follow you back. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Discord. I relaunched our newsletter on Substack. I did write a very special and personal message on Substack about Tomas and my experience meeting him, our staff's closeness to him, proximity. So I am a little sad, but this is really fun. Pugsley Adams is just Goth Bobby Hill. Change my mind. That boy ain't right. But anyway, on to the rest of the news. Thanks for being here. We're almost done with the show, as you know. The story of the week. Dillinger, tell me your thoughts on this Avett Brothers Mike Patton combination. So Mike Patton was teasing this thing with the Avett Brothers logo and a background. And my brain was like, does not compute. I don't understand this. How is this happening? What is happening? Why is this happening? So Mike Patton was teasing something last week. I didn't know what it was, and he has made a whole album with the Avett Brothers band. And it's called Avett Patton, or AVTTPTTN. And they have a self-titled album coming, and they have a brand new song, Eternal Love. And it sounds like the Avett Brothers with Mike Patton singing. Like he's just singing along with them, like they're all meant to be together. And it's pretty incredible. I hope the whole record is like this. I was just absolutely floored that this is happening. Maybe they will even tour. I'm just really glad to have Mike. I worry about Mike. I know Faith No More is probably not coming back, and I'm super sad about it. But I'm really hopeful that they come, that Mike continues to work and be a viable, valuable artist. All right, pushing through, and that's what the album cover looks like. Just kind of gorgeous. The final, I believe, Ozzy documentary. Both the documentaries about Ozzy look like they're coming soon. The No Escape From Now, which is to document Ozzy's last 5 or 6 years of life, and the Back to the Beginning show, is coming to Paramount Plus. I know the BBC documentary is kind of in competition with this. They had pulled it to add additional things. The family asked that it be pulled down. And so this is coming soon. Very cool. Harley Cro-Mag. Speaking of Cro-Mags, one thing that was super interesting here. Josh is passing by. What's up? Harley Cro-Mag. Cro-Mags are on tour. They got Pete Hines back from Best Wishes. Really killer. And then I have a review coming finally of the Harley documentary Wired for Chaos. And I do hope to see them again soon and interview Harley again soon. He was really kind and nice. He did an interview where he did a social media post where he thanked fans for always saying Cro-Mags was an influence. But then he turned around in the comments and was like, Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, all these huge bands have never taken us on tour. So you are going to take inspiration from us, but you can't tour with us. The reality is, Jeff fucking Wood is here. What's up, bro? The reality is that, a lot of touring has nothing to do with the bands that are the headline bands. It has to do with ticket sales and Ticketmaster and shit, which we're going to talk about in a second because, but yeah, man, Harley kind of dropped the bomb on a lot of bands that he called. It's kind of interesting. I have interviewed a couple of people over the years, like Prong, that I felt like a lot of people took from. And Tommy Victor also says that, hey, I don't see anybody ever saying that we were influences or particularly into us. But so here's this news hit just before the show, and I just threw it into the thing. Shout out to Kim Hansen and Matt Kochek from Ghost Cult. Shout out to my homies Omar and Michael and everybody. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is suing Ticketmaster and Live Nation, alleging illegal ticket resale tactics. Hopefully, this is the first step in breaking up this monopoly. Because again, like I said, the ticket industry, Ticketmaster and Live Nation are the same company. They own all the venues. They own most of the venues, 3/4 of the venues. They own all the marketing. They own all the billboards. They own all the touring apparatuses. They own all the scalpers and resellers and bots. And this makes it unfair to fans. It passes on extra cost to us. So I'm going to read the statement. The Federal Trade Commission in 7 states have sued Live Nation and Ticketmaster on Thursday, alleging that the companies tacitly coordinated with brokers to harvest millions of dollars worth of tickets from primary markets. These tickets were then sold at a substantial markup in the secondary market, forcing consumers to pay far more than their face value. I'm sure this is mainly about Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, Green Day, Foo Fighters, but also about the larger space. The FTC further alleged that in a complaint that the California-based Ticketmaster LLC and its parent company Live Nation Entertainment Inc. deceived artists and consumers by engaging in a bait-and-switch pricing, advertising lower ticket prices than what buyers were actually required to pay. Facts. Straight facts. Straight facts. The companies also alleged to claim and enforce strict limits on the number of tickets a consumer could purchase, even though brokers routinely and substantially exceed those limits. Facts. And so millions of these tickets, often at a much higher prices on their resale platform they own. FTC is seeking civil penalties against Ticketmaster, so billions of dollars, but it doesn't matter. Ticketmaster and Live Nation have billions of dollars to pay. And any additional monetary relief that the court finds appropriate. The attorney generals of Virginia, Utah, Florida, Tennessee, Nebraska, Illinois, and Colorado joined this action. Super interesting. Super interesting. So yeah, that's a thing. We'll keep tracking this story as it develops. Slipknot again continues to reign supreme with their Slipknot 25th anniversary vinyl. I believe most of the variants are sold out, and they have passed the platinum plateau yet again for that debut album. Fucking cool. Yet another platinum seller. This is of Mice and Men. They have a new single out. They announced a new album, which I think is pretty cool. I was not expecting a new album from them. Myrtle is here. Whimsy Fox is here. Hello. B. Carrillo. Adam Austin. What up, what up? Thanks for being here. Also, I'll just begin this for now. Also, let's see. Boom. Brocardi's album Feed My Soul, or single Feed My Soul, is out now, featuring Ray Luzier of Crone. Very cool British sort of punk new metal artist. TikTok is trying to kick me out for being on too long. Go fuck yourself. Atreyu fooled everybody. They wiped their socials clean, and they were like, oh, maybe we're going to pack it in. They had all the 27 years young, this, and that. And then on September 17th, yesterday, my birthday, they dropped a new single, announced a new album. So, nice try, guys. Magnetic Eye Records is doing another one of their Redux series. We talked about this a couple of months ago when they intimated it. The Downward Spiral Redux will be all of the Downward Spiral covered by other metal bands, as well as a greatest hits also of Nine Inch Nails, also covered and reimagined by metal bands. I love Magnetic Eye. I love the Redux series. I have the Soundgarden. I have the Helmet. I have Pink Floyd. I think I have the Sabbath. Nice. In Human Condition, led by our homeboy there in the middle, Jeremy Kling, the great drummer in Human Condition's the band where he's the vocalist, has dropped a new single on the Decibel FlexiDisc series. Very fun. Here's Full of Hell. They had dropped off the current tour they're on because of Dylan Walker's father passing away. This is our former interviewee subject. We love Full of Hell. I saw them with Better Lovers Dillinger last year. They were incredible. Big Ass Truck is a hardcore band. I think the next big, I think there's not another Spirit Box or Lorna Shore who can do what they do. So the next big trend in rock and metal is probably going to be these metallic hardcore bands again, like your Bury Your Deads, except much better. And so Big Ass Truck signed to Nuclear Blast. Surprising to see these bands signing to Century Media and Metal Blade and Nuclear Blast. Zachary Mills is here. What's up? And so, yeah, they signed the Nuclear Blast, dropped a new song, announced a new single. Onward Downward is here. That's a good name. Here's Wretched. They dropped a new single and a video. I might be doing an interview with them at some point when I have some time. This is all these super groups are starting to freak me out. It's like I can't keep track of these guys. Halo Effect, featuring members of Dark Tranquillity and former members of In Flames, did a cover of I Want to Be Somebody by Wasp, and it will surely be better than Wasp's original. Go check that out. We were telling you last week, Metal Blade Records has teamed up with Rare Character Whiskey to drop a new, their own whiskey brand. Metal Blade single barrel series selected by Metal Blade, and it's almost all sold out. So if you're a big whiskey fan and you love Metal Blade, you want to move on that with the quickness. And that is all the news that's fit to print. It was a very busy week in concerts and festivals, and a week full of drama. Otherwise, let us talk about New Music Friday, because we always do. Let's do it. Let's see. Let's talk about all the new music that's coming out. We are almost through September. Wild shit. Here is the new music coming out this week. I will give you the album title, and then I will give you the band name, album title, record label, and maybe what genre it is. Abyssales, Adaption on Transcending Obscurity Records for some death metal. Ad Nauseum, live at Roadburn for some extreme avant-garde music on Avant-Garde Music, the label. Isle Fairtongue, All Is Far Away, self-released. Airborne, not that Airborne, but another Airborne. Lizard Secrets Part 3, Utopia on Fighter Records for some rock. American Television, You Are Not Alone EP on Smart Punk Records for some emo. Ancient Thrones, Melancholia, self-released. Bad Wolves, Die About It Deluxe Edition, Better Noise Music. Big Big Train, the prog rock band, Are We Nearly There Yet? Question mark, English Electric Records. Rothrog, Vid Vase Unda, self-released. I don't know what that is. Cadaveric Possession, Rhythmic Execration of Existence on Black Flame Rebellion Records. Castle Rat, this record I've been waiting for. The Bestiary King on King Volume Records. Dead, the new metal band from Phoenix. Resent on UNFD Records now. Death Light, Stygian Conclave, self-released. Doomsday Prophet, Killer Stoner Rock Band, self-titled, out this week. Dreadnoughts, Polka Pit on Punkerton Records. Dusted Angel, The Side of the Dirt, Heavy Psych Sounds for some psychedelic rock. Ego Side, Morticinia on Dust Tone Records. Esoterica, Ether Metal, Year of the Rat Records. Let's see, what else? Firmament for Centuries Alive on Dying Victims Records, usually death metal. Greywind, Severed Heart City on FLG Records. Heartbound, 20 Times Colder on Sonic 11 Pride and Joy Records. Panir, The Chosen Path on Void Wanderer Records. Heritois, Soul Staglia on AOP Records. Igor, the great Baroque metal, industrial, dance, electronic, evil metal band. Amen on Metal Blade. Camelot, Ascension, 95 to 98 on Noise Records. That's a compilation. Camera, Unending Confluence, Avant-Garde Music. A Killer's Confession, Victim 2. We did the Victim 1 last year and interviewed Wayne Rebus about that. So Killer's Confession, Victim 2 already out. Kringsgrav for some sludge metal. Stormcaller, Willowtip Records. Lowrider, Ode to Low, re-release. Blues Funeral Recordings for some stoner doom. The Meantimes, Feel More Dumb, Golden Robot Records. Meridian, self-titled. It's literally called self-titled. From the Vaults Records. Mesarthream, Isolate X on Avant-Garde Music. Mike Tramp, Songs of White Lion, Volume 3 on Frontiers SRL. Minefield, An Atonement for Existence, self-released. Mirador, self-titled on Republic Records. Motion City soundtrack, The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World, Epitaph Records. Navis, Back Home, Dying Victims Records. New World Depression, Abysmal Void, Testimony Records. November's Doom, one of the greatest American stoner doom bands from Chicago. Major, Arcana on Lupus Lounge. OSPA, 1959, self-titled. Hosted, How Do You Cope, EP. Paradise Lost, Ascension, 95th Paradise Lost record. Nuclear Blast Records. Sadistic Goat Messiah. What a great name that is. Holy shit. Why didn't I name my band Sadistic Ghost Messiah? Violence on Dying Victims Records. Sauerkraut, the band. In Madness on Wormhole Death Records. Scorpion Milk, Slime of the Three Times on Peace Records. Wrapping up with Sister Murder, Resurrecting the Wounded Psyche on Underground Syndicate Records. Slowbot, Quarry, self-released. Species Changelings on 20 Buck Spin. Stoned Jesus, Songs to Sun, S-U-N, on Season of Mist. Surrender the Crown, Travails, The Theander Expression, Chaos, Dreams, and Love. Tithe, Communion in Anguish on Profound Lore Records. Viglios, Tome 2, Ignis Sasir on Ladlow Recordings. And finally, Vitra, Intense Indifference, self-released. That is all the new music coming out this week. Holy cow, that's a lot of records. And now it's time for the mailbag, and it's like the final thing here in the show. And first and foremost, I showed some of this stuff off yesterday, which you can watch on the replay podcast. I did get some presents for my birthday. Thank you to my girlfriend, Melissa. Thank you to Melissa's family for adorning me with some cash that I bought some records with. But I just wanted to show this again because we talked about it in the news a few weeks ago. This is the Super 7 Dimebag Daryl Super 7 reaction figure. It does look kind of like the I've been hearing comments that he looks like Chris Cornell, actually. I would have painted a smile on Daryl's face because even though he always made like guitar face, he was always happy and smiling, you know? He really exuded pure joy. And he does have like the classic Dean, not the Lightning Bolt Dean, but the old school Dean ML, the Maroon ML. Probably because they can't get the rights to use the guitar yet. But super stoked I got this for myself, actually, with my tips from karaoke. But I was telling on the Glacial Musical Podcast, which you can watch at midnight, wherever you listen to podcasts, that I had, in getting my new record shelves last week, I have unearthed this behind me under this Capra flag and this Testament flag is actually a clothing closet. And I had a store of records in there that I never unboxed or opened or cataloged because I'm lazy and I need to do better with my Discogs. But especially for insurance purposes. But anyway, I had found a bunch of vinyls I never opened or looked at. And so I was going to unbox one on here. And I should have opened the plastic before the show because, of course, I trimmed my nails and I can't open this thing. But this is, here's Between the Buried and Me, Colors, the classic, right? Like, I'm not the hugest BT Band fan. They do have a new album out now as of last week. And I may yet still talk to them about it. We'll see. They haven't been available much. But Craft Recording sent me this remaster. And I talked about it, and I talked about getting it. And I listened to the promo version of it before it was dropped, the remaster. And it sounds great, but I never actually opened it and played it on my turntable. I think I ran out of time. Give me 1 second here. I'll open this fucking thing here. What in the fuck is happening? Folks, try this at home and try to do better than me and try to get this plastic off. They'll have a hype sticker, which is rad. So here's Colors, double gatefold or gatefold double vinyl. Here's the reproduced album artwork. You can now see it. The front cover, the back cover, and then let's see what's in here. I believe there's a booklet. 2 albums. Don't think there's a digital download card. Why would you? Okay, it's in the paper Mylar. It's in the paper sleeves, which I don't love, and on the 180-gram vinyl remaster. So basically, that's what it looks like. As I always say, and we say on the Glacial Musical Podcast, get rid of your paper sleeves. Don't use these. Paper creates static that ruins your records and your needle and your turntable. So you want these pristinely in these Invest in Vinyl sleeves that I use here for both the inner and the outer. So here's the outer sleeve that I will put it in, and here's one example of a inner Mylar round sleeve. Super cool. Thank you, Craft Recordings. Thank you, Between the Buried and Me. Again, not the hugest fan of theirs, but that record is an all-time classic progressive metal album. And that is the show in a very manageable 1 hour and 12 minutes. So thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm kind of low energy. There's some technical difficulties to start the show originally at the beginning. You know, I'm just glad to be here. I appreciate you all for watching. Keep it to ghostcultmag.com for all your metal and rock news. And as we say every week at the juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. I'm going to dance a jig on the way out of here. I love you, Mom. Rest in power. Peace. At least that worked. Now I can dance my jig. Peace.